Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. This program is brought to you by DraftKings, and we're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino, kicking off this hour by talking to Will Hill, VSiN Contributor. He is the host of the Shoulda Bet More podcast that you can find wherever you listen to your podcast. Will, thanks for the time as always as you join us here on the Progressive Guest Line. Before we get into tonight's national title game, and if you think UConn's laying too many points, what did you make of the stunning news from last night? John Calipari is leaving Kentucky. He agreed to a 5-year deal to become the next head coach at Arkansas. Were you scrambling for Arkansas futures last night?
Yeah, it was shocking. Look, I'm in Connecticut, and we don't have futures for next year up. And I guess if I comb through all my books here, maybe I could find one for next year. But that's not the easiest thing to find. If it was 3 or 4 days later, maybe once one season ends. But it's just not the easiest thing to find a future for next year's tournament when this tournament hasn't ended again, especially in Connecticut when we can't bet futures for this tournament for whatever reason. But not a bad idea. I mean, he's going to bring all his talent with him, it seems like, and you could say what you want about him once he gets to March, and that's all fair. But he does have a habit of getting there with higher seeds. So look, just a number grab at 70-1 or whatever it was. I completely understand that, but shocking. I mean, I guess it shouldn't be. I thought after that loss to Oakland, hey, maybe he doesn't come back. Maybe they get sick of each other. But once the dust had settled, and that's 2-3 weeks ago now, you figured, all right, if it hadn't been done now,
sure,
he'd probably be coming back. Shocking that he's going to be in conference. He's going to be coaching against Kentucky. I was surprised by it. Again, you look at it and you know what? Maybe sometimes things just run its course. The fans are annoyed with him. He's sick of not being appreciated. Maybe just a fresh start. So I get it. I don't know where it leaves Kentucky. I mean, I hear all the same names you guys. People are going to throw out Mark Few and Jay Wright. I think Pitino's too old. I think, if you're Kentucky, you want your next Calipari. Say what you want about him, but he's there 15 years, did win a title, went to a few Final Fours. You want that next guy that's going to be there for a decade. What's Pitino going to give you? 2 or 3 years? Same thing. Jay Wright, he's already retired. What's he going to give you? 2 or 3 years? I think you want somebody who's a little younger, who you can, build your program around, because when you have these older coaches, other teams use that against you in recruiting. Say, hey, why are you going to go play for them? He's not going to be there in a couple of years. So there's not that perfect candidate. If I had to guess right now, hey, life on the line, who's the coach next year for Kentucky? I'd probably go Scott Drew from Baylor, just because he's that mix of, hey, he's won a title, young enough. I don't know if you guys have like some perfect candidate or some ideal candidate. I haven't heard most of the show this morning yet. But I guess I'd probably go with Drew, but there's not that perfect candidate out there.
He's not a bad name at all. I will say this, back to your point about Arkansas, and DraftKings is one book that was offering next year title odds in college basketball. They had Arkansas at 70-1. They dropped him to 40. I'll tell you what, I mean, I know he has not won in a long, long time, and he has flopped a lot. I would take 70-1 on Arkansas. It's only a numbers grab. That's it, right?
40-1's probably too short, right? Especially when you consider tying up your money for a year or so.
Yeah.
40's cutting it close.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to put much on it. I mean, 40
right.
Probably not, but if you found a book with 70 still somehow this morning, I'd put maybe something on that.
You got to call Hurley, because you got handed a gift here, because the buyout was over $30 million, and all the reports said the buyout money was there, but they decided to keep him. Well, he was going to be, if he did another horrible season, he was out. An early exit. So now that's found money now. I mean, that's plus you can get anybody you want, because the money's going to be there. So that's the guy I would start with. And if he says no, so be it. But you can go there and go Donovan, whoever you want to go, because with the big brand of Kentucky. What do you think tonight of the game? We're up to 7.
I would take the points. I mean, look, I don't know how you bet against UConn and feel great about it. I do think it's a lot of points. I mean, you look at any of the analytics sites, whether it's KenPom or Haslam, it's a 2.5, 3-point game. I mean, Purdue is still really good, and I'm guilty of this. I think we all kind of overlooked them a little bit because of their past failures in March. They did throw us off the scent a little bit. It's hard to beat Purdue by 8 points. They're a really good team. I know people will look at it and say, hey, Edey and Klingon, that's a wash, and then the 4 for UConn will kill the 4 of Purdue. Maybe the game plays out that way, but I think people are overlooking. Edey can play all 40 minutes, which for a guy his size is remarkable. Klingon's like a 25-minute-a-game guy, 28-minute-a-game guy, so you're going to have a good 10, 12 minutes possibly where Edey's out there and Klingon isn't. And Klingon doesn't have a lot of experience guarding in the post one-on-one because nobody tries him. So I'm sure Klingon will hold his own when he's in there, but I don't know that he's in there minute for minute with Edey. And look, Purdue did not play well the other night. That was a hard game to watch Saturday against NC State.
Yeah.
But, I think they come in this game probably fast and loose. Say, you know what? Nobody's going to kill them anymore. They made a Final Four. They didn't lose to a double-digit seed in NC State. They kind of gotten the monkey off their back where, if you lose to UConn tonight, if you lose by 10, 12 points to an all-time great UConn team, and that's what this will be if they win this game, nobody's going to kill them. Nobody's going to call them chokers. So I do think that helps from a psychological standpoint where you can come in fast and loose and, just play your game, shoot some threes, and hope UConn has an off night. I mean, these UConn runs are inevitable where you're in the game. It's almost like the old Warriors with Curry and even with Durant, where it's just you're in there, you're hanging in. It's a 1-point game, and you look up and you're down 10. So, look, I like Purdue. I think that's a lot of points. I understand you're stepping in front of a freight train with UConn, but I just think this line's being taxed because of how dominant UConn is. And again, I don't have most outstanding player odds here, but I've looked around and I see Klingon's around plus 170, plus 175. I don't know. Let me ask you guys. Is it a bad idea if somebody has no futures? They don't really like the game, but they want some action tonight. You just for round number sake, you throw $100 on Purdue plus 7, you throw $100 on Klingon, most outstanding player at plus 175. Don't you have a better chance of scooping than losing both? And isn't there a good chance the middle there? I do kind of think I don't know that it's a lock that if UConn wins, Klingon wins. I don't think that's a fair way of assessing it, but I do think he's got a strong chance to win, where if UConn wins, it's going to be almost by default, where he's the face of the team, the defense, the block shots. So I don't know if you don't really like the game and you want to take Purdue plus 7 and, Klingon, most outstanding player, half a unit on each, I do think you got a decent chance to scoop there.
I don't think it wasn't outrageous what Jay Croucher said Friday. Well, what if Edey has a big game and they lose a close one?
Well, he won't. You want to know why?
He can't do it?
Caitlin Clark did not win most outstanding player yesterday on the women's side.
Okay.
That's a travesty. Clearly, she was the best player in the tournament.
Yeah.
So if she's not
in the 2015 finals, we don't do that anymore. It's just a culture thing. It's just, I don't know. They're not going to be, hey, UConn, 12 straight wins in the tournament, back-to-back titles. By the way, Edey's the most outstanding. I just don't see him doing it. I've thought about it too. I don't think we do that anymore. Losing player winning the Super Bowl. There's no more Chuck Cowleys. There's no more, Jerry West. I don't think that's a thing anymore. I could be wrong.
He has an incredible case. He probably should be if they lose a close one, but I don't think voters will do that.
Coming off a 40-20 the other night.
Yeah. All right, some Major League Baseball here. Your New York Yankees 8-2. Everybody saw this coming. Freight train here. They're the UConn of Major League Baseball. Cortez is going today against the Marlins and Luzardo. Marlins, what a horrible start to the season. Finally got their first win. The number is around plus 160 in that neighborhood today, maybe a little bit higher than that. What do you want to do here?
I like the Yankees. I was expecting more like $2. Now, I know Cortez hasn't been great and Luzardo's a good pitcher, but this is still the Yankees and the Marlins. And when the Yankees are good, when the Yankees fans believe that building, they have more of a home field advantage. So I do think there'll be some juice in that ballpark. Maybe not tonight as much as going forward, but keep that in mind. Yankees will have a good home field advantage. Again, it's probably being a cold Monday night national title game, so I don't know, but there is still a bigger gap between these two teams. And I think this line suggests, again, I know Cortez had his issues here in the first inning, but $1.60 or so. If you have a book that offers dime lines in baseball, you find like $1.55. I just think that's a little cheap. And look, the Yankees look good with Judge and Soto. Judge hasn't even done a lot yet. If you get something out of Stanton, this line's going to be really scary. Now, I said, I think it was on Friday, I was tweeting, like, they're going to have to replace his at-bats at some point. Hit 190 last year, had a bad spring, had a bad start to the season. He hit 2 home runs 2 days in a row. So maybe, boy, if you can get 30-something homers out of Stanton on top of everything else, this is going to be a really good lineup. And you could say you don't have great pitching, but with all these pitcher injuries, but by the time we get to the end of the season, nobody's going to have great pitching. It's it's a matter of survival. It's like
it is.
It's like The Wire. Somebody dies off every episode. It's crazy with this pitching. So maybe that lack of great pitching isn't as big of a concern going forward as you might think. But I like the Yankees here.
I'll tell you this: the Pirates are also 8-2. What a wild weekend it was! They took 2 out of 3 against Baltimore. They won in extras somehow on Saturday. Came back. Such an improbable win again yesterday in the bottom of the ninth to get 2 there. So they took 2 out of 3. They're playing Detroit in a spot today. Do you like the Pirates somehow in this game, or what do you want to do with the overall numbers?
Yeah, I was following that game yesterday. I was watching the women's game. What happened? Henderson threw away a play ball that would have won, I think, right? At the end with Orioles up a run and almost got out of it with the bases loaded. But I like the under here. Two pretty good pitches. I'm going to go under first 5. You can get a 4.5. I think that hook will go away. Olsen's kind of an underrated pitcher, changes speeds, and Keller is a pitcher that had a good year last year. So not two great lineups, even though both these teams are off to great starts. I mean, who would have thought Pirates Tigers would be the game of the day, a week or two into the season? But under 4.5 to me is a good bet. I think you're looking at like a 2-1, 2-2 score after 5 innings. So again, with the extra inning rules, I have a hard time getting involved in these full game unders. I don't want to sit there and sweat a extra innings situation. But under 4.5 first 5 is good. Like
90 seconds here, Will. The Mets are getting the Braves today. Mets are off to a 3-6 start. Braves are 6-2. Morton goes against Teheran. Listed right now as the probables. And your favorite bet in this game is what?
I'm going to go Braves first 5 team total over 3.5. You get it plus 114 at DraftKings. To me, the Braves are going to hammer Teheran. They got all sorts of issues too now with pitching. Obviously, Strider probably done for the year, as sad as that is. Fried got lit up Saturday, gave up 6 runs in the first inning, but they won both those games because their lineup absolutely mashes. I'm surprised Teheran keeps getting work in the major leagues. I mean, that shows the state of the pitching for the Mets. So Braves over 3.5 team total first 5 innings. I really want to isolate just betting against Teheran. And hey, if you want to get involved in the UConn game, a Braves UConn moneyline parlay pays around even money. That's probably not the worst bet either.
Okay, all right. You can get his podcast, Will. It's called Should Have Bet More, and does a great job contributing to VSiN as well. Follow him on X at @NotTheWillHill. Thanks, pal. We appreciate it. Good luck tonight.
All right, boys, get in a nap today. It's going to be a long one.
It certainly is. You must love the 9:22 p.m. tip time for the national title game, and Will joined us on the Progressive guest line. Up next, the bombshell from last night. John Calipari is going to Arkansas. He's taken the job. I'll expand on that a little bit coming up on why I don't mind Arkansas futures next year.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Get ready to tee off with a special Masters edition of VSiN Long Shots this Tuesday at 11 p.m. Eastern. Join Matt Brown, Wes Reynolds, Kelly Bidlin as they break down the field, analyze the best bets, and look for long shots, which Wes hits all the time. Whether you're a seasoned golf bettor or just getting into the game, our expert panel will provide insights and strategies to help you make informed betting decisions. Tune into Long Shots Tuesday, 11 p.m. Don't miss out. VSiN.com/Masters. The big news in the middle of the night, Calipari takes the Arkansas job, 5-year deal, and the NIL money will be there, $5 to $6 million a year with Tyson Foods. Apparently he's tight with the Tyson kids. You also have Jerry Jones, who was big in making this happen, and also some Walmart money, but the writing was on the wall. He didn't feel wanted anymore. You had the exit meet, well, not exit meeting, but could have been an exit meeting, but the end of season meeting with Barnhart, the AD, and he decides to stay in the conference and jump ship to Arkansas. Kentucky is now not on the hook for the $30 million buyout, and the chain of events that got this thing going, where you go from SMU fires their head coach, Enfield leaves USC to go to SMU, and he said the reason why was because they're going to the ACC. Musselman leaves Arkansas, which apparently the NIL money wasn't going to be there because they were frustrated with what he was doing, even though he went Elite Eight, Sweet 16, and then had one bad year this past season. So he takes the USC job, and apparently the K-State coach and Beard said no, and this happens, which he is now upstaged the national title game, and you could find 70 to 1 on Arkansas on yesterday to win the whole thing, and now apparently he'll get all his great recruiting class, which he spoke of when they lost after the Oakland game. Oh, you should wait to see where I'm coming in next year, that he can get these guys, and now he'll have all this NIL money as well. And now what does Kentucky do? Wild. This is incredible that this happened.
A couple of things. Are we sure this is a good thing for Arkansas? Musselman took him on deep tournament runs in recent years.
Yeah, I know.
Is Calipari going to be an upgrade?
That, right.
Musselman brought in a lot of talent.
He's not a better coach. No.
He'll bring in. He will still have some of the best recruiting classes in the country at Arkansas. It's who he is. It's what he does. But Arkansas better be prepared to have their hearts broken a lot.
Mm-hmm. I read some stuff that he was kind of getting tough to deal with. Musselman, who knows? But you're right. Calipari has had just one tournament win going back the last 4 or 5 years. Right. This guy won Elite Eight, Sweet 16.
And on the flip side, are we sure this is a good thing for Kentucky?
Yes.
What if they don't get the right coach after him?
I don't think they can. I think that every option out there is good.
But what if they don't get one of those options?
What if strike out completely?
What if they get the next Billy Gillispie?
Oh boy, I don't think that'll happen.
I mean, it sounds borderline impossible.
Even if you get down to a Bryce, Scott Drew,
Scott Drew would be a hell of a coach.
I think that would be. I would have him like 6th on the list, though. I would be shocked if he said no.
I'll tell you who I would talk to at this point, again, because you give something time and people get over it. I'd talk to Chris Beard. He might be the best coach in college basketball, not named Dan Hurley. It was inevitable that guy, what he did was absolutely despicable. But at some point, a program was going to give him another chance, and it did not take long. So now that he's coaching at the D1 level again, why can't Kentucky have that conversation? I think that would be a home run hire at UK. Drew, I think, would be really, really good. He did an unbelievable job, all things considered, at Baylor. I think you have to have the phone call with Dan Hurley, though, first and foremost. This is a reason why, again, if you found 70-1 last night and you were able to get down on Arkansas, like I would have, and I have bet Kentucky futures in the past. I was all over that team this year. I didn't bet him every single year, but I bet him from time to time. And my thought process was, despite his failures winning games in the tournament and when it matters most, I thought at some point the talent was going to supersede and had a chance at winning out over his lack of coaching. Like this year, for example, because they have so much NBA talent, I thought, well, by a fluke, if nothing else, this team can win 2 or 3 teams in the tournament and go a long way, and then it's going to be, up in the air at that point. A lot of coin flip games potentially. And I've done that before with Kentucky teams. Now, he made 4 Final Fours right out of the gates, and they were the most exciting program in the country for probably a decade because of all that NBA talent. Only 1 national championship. But the reason why, I would still consider 40-1 on Arkansas, because how many times in history are you going to get 40-1 on a team with John Calipari as the head coach when he has that much talent? Like this year, Kentucky was already below 20-1 with the guys he was bringing in. So he goes to Arkansas. He's going to have a lot of those same guys, and he's 40-1 still. You could never, despite this year, because they were struggling and the defense was so bad, I grabbed Kentucky a couple times at 40-1. But going back, tracking this stuff, like in the history of his time being at Kentucky, you're never going to find 40-1. So he goes to Arkansas, not quite that name of Kentucky, and you're going to get a little bit of a bump with the price. So yeah, when books open up here in Las Vegas, if I can find a 40 or a 50-1 in Arkansas, I'll probably take a little bit of it, because my thinking again is going to be, you never get that number when he's at Kentucky. He's going to have similar talent. Why wouldn't he? And maybe at some point, the talent just happens to win out and takes over, and it's better than his bad coaching, and they win some of these games, and they're live. And so to me, that would be worth it. I'm not going to put a fortune on it, of course, with him, because I don't want to be suicidal when it's all over with, not learning my lesson. But
they'll be in the same situation, though. They'll be a 3 or a 4 seed with all this talent, and then he'll lose to Drake in the second round. Still can't coach. But what kind of staff will he have, too, to help him out? That'll be a big thing. But if Beard said no, why did Beard turn down the Arkansas job?
That's a good question.
That seems, unless this has got hot and heavy in the last couple of days, but that seemed like a good fit. If you're going to have all that money and with Tyson Foods and Walmart and Jerry Jones, if they were going to give you the resources. But the other thing is why Kentucky can get anybody they want, then the $30 million was there. If Mitch was going to move on from him, the buyout money was there, according to reports. So now you don't have to pay the buyout. Huge. He did you a huge favor. Mm-hmm. So you can go to Hurley or whoever and say, how much do you want? Let's go. Let's play ball. Because you're going to recruit and get star players, but now we're going to have a guy who's unbelievable with X's and O's. The thing I can't get over is UConn's 33-0 when they lead at the half. I mean, this guy is so good. But it's whether it's Billy Donovan, Jay Wright, Hurley, whoever, Few, Drew. Go ahead, take your shot. It's not going to be a problem.
Would you call Chris Beard?
If I'd have to hear no from other people first.
Yeah, no, he's not going to be the first guy on the list, but
I don't think you get that far down the list, though. I start with Hurley and then go Jay Wright, Donovan,
Yeah.
I don't know what my pecking order. I probably would. I don't know where few would be in the pecking order, but it's certainly. Those are the four guys I'd start with.
Would you any interest in Shaka Smart?
No.
You can do better than that at Kentucky?
Yes. Yeah. Well, he's had a ton of issues in the tournament since VCU.
I know.
It didn't go well at Texas.
You can always tweet us or post us or whatever you want to say at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Pauly Howard. We are getting several messages today asking about Brad Stevens.
No.
What do you mean no?
No. He runs the Celtics. Why would he do that? I mean, Pitino left Kentucky to run the Boston Celtics and coach them. I think that's...
Well, to get back into coaching.
Why would he do that? No.
On the college level?
He said he's a masshole. He loves it there.
Okay. No, I'm saying, do you pick up the phone and call him, though?
Oh. Well, I guess. I can't imagine he would entertain that. I think he's... I mean, the guy gets to run the Boston Celtics.
And he doesn't have to do the coaching on a daily basis.
Well, look at Saban. I mean, Saban said he's sick of this. You now have to do with this NIL stuff.
Right.
And the kids have what can you do for me? How much money am I making? I don't think he wants any part of that. I think he loved ball and X's and O's and why he was a great fit at Butler. I don't think Brad Stevens wants any part of that. He's got to recruit again, and he's got to sell the guys on how much money they're making and what can you do for me? And can you get me in the league?
I think like the Pitino thing is fun to talk about. It's not going to happen. You need to get a guy who's a proven winner, who can bring in talent, and yet who is still somewhat young. I think that kind of eliminates Jay Wright. Although I love the guy, I think he was an unbelievable coach at Villanova, especially when he put together the right crew of players, and the way that he coached in 2016, 2018, they were the Golden State Warriors, the way that he coached that team. It was phenomenal basketball. It was a pleasure to watch. Unlike any of these Kentucky teams, they had no idea what they were doing. So that's why it would be refreshing. I don't know, like, is he beyond that age that you want to, go down that path for? You probably go a little bit younger than that, skew a little bit younger. But that's a fine line. It's tough to find a proven winner who can recruit his ass off and still is young enough to be there for a long, long time. All right, real or Fugazi is up next. Speaking of Hurley, he has a chance to be the basketball version of this coaching legend who recently retired, not named Coach K.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Start your morning with a daily dose of winning strategies, insider tips, and the latest buzz with the free VSiN daily newsletter. Bill 80 up early, previewing the national title game tonight. Expert analysis, latest odds straight to your inbox, absolutely free. VSiN.com/newsletter to subscribe.
Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard are here to make you a friend of ours.
That would mean you were made guy.
Investigating what is and isn't legit.
Because that's a fugazi. All right? That's a fugazi. I looked at it for 2 seconds.
Seeing through the lines to make you a better.
I know you know. And I know you know I know you know.
The FTM Army is being sent for.
In our thing, you get sent for, you go in alive, you come out dead. And it's your best friend that does.
These two wise guys would never steer you wrong.
Forget about it.
This is Real or Fugazi on Follow the Money.
Pauly, on paper, South Carolina versus Iowa leading into tonight with UConn taking on Purdue is as good as it gets. Is that real or is that Fugazi?
A little Fugazi. Little bit. Because I didn't think Iowa had much of a chance yesterday because South Carolina was so good.
Oh, the storyline, though, Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
They also were a 13-point dog to them last year, and they beat them outright.
Yeah. Yeah. But this could get out of hand tonight, though, too. It should be close. It's Ken Palm number 1 against number 2. But this is, are you going to win 12 games in a row in the tournament by 13 plus? I mean, I wouldn't fall off my chair if they're up 14 at halftime.
The fact that this never happens, though, on the men's side.
I know.
Like, the best team overall usually doesn't win it anyway.
Yep.
But to have the 2 best or 2 out of the 3 best teams actually make it to the title game, that's rare.
Rare, yep. 2021 was awesome, but guess what? Stinker. Baylor blew them out.
I know.
Baylor
From
and
the
Gonzaga.
get-go.
That was one of the few times where it was 1 and 2, and the gap was so large, but it played out that way, that they still got there. And Gonzaga was undefeated, and Baylor only lost twice, 2016, 2008, 2005. But 2008 was a great game. Memphis should have won, missed their free throws. That was Calipari. But hopefully it lives up to the hype like Villanova and North Carolina. But I don't know if Purdue can hang in this one.
Dan Hurley has a chance to be the Nick Saban of college basketball. Real or Fugazi?
100% real. And he can do it at UConn or if he takes the Kentucky job.
Agreed.
Now, one thing here is, as I mentioned, you got this gift where you don't have to pay the $30 million buyout. If Calipari gets $8 million a year, this guy's got to be getting 10 then. So if you're Kentucky and say you want $9-10 million a year, he's got to get more than Calipari. He'd be back-to-back champs, or at least wins the title and gets to the championship game. He's got to get 10, and if that happens, you're doubling his salary at least. If you're going to say you make 4 or 5 now, how about 10? You make 4 at UConn, and certainly he's going to get a raise no matter what happens. But how about $9-10 million a year? He's got to take that and entertain that. Mm-hmm. And maybe there's a point where UConn can't compete with that. And Kentucky, just because, it's like Lon Kruger. We told that story last week on April Fools years ago. He told Oklahoma no 3 times. And every time they came back with more money. Till he finally had to say, I have to do what's best for my family. I don't want to leave Las Vegas, but I have to take the job.
Hurley has to listen.
Yeah.
Absolutely
especially
must
if they
listen.
say here's $10 million a year.
Yep. Tonight's result is bigger than just Purdue. This one is for the entire Big Ten. Is that real or Fugazi?
100% real. That's right. You haven't done it since 2000. That's another storyline here. Now, the one storyline is exercising the demons and full marks to Purdue and Painter to have the Virginia Part 2 story here, and you're in play. But it's right. It's been since 2000. They've lost, 7 in a row. So it's happened to Izzo. It happened to Indiana. It happened to Ohio State. It happened to Michigan a couple times.
Yeah.
Can the Big Ten get one here? That's big. I know. That is a part of the storyline here. Can the Big Ten finally get one? It's a long time.
So Matt Painter can wipe away all of his past misery by winning tonight. Real or Fugazi?
No, Fugazi.
I think people will say he already did.
No, that's unfair. You still have that stink. I mean, you got the big guy down low. Which how do you lose to Fairleigh Dickinson? How do you lose to North Texas and Arkansas Little Rock? I can't get past that. But
even if he wins tonight, you can't.
Well, how does he follow it up? What happens?
Does it matter?
I think it does.
What do you think of Tony Bennett today?
Good coach, would win at any program. Why do you play that style at a big-time program, though? I hate the style.
What do you think of John Calipari?
Great recruiter, salesman, not a coach.
Yeah. Would you consider John Calipari a winner?
Yeah, he's a winner. I mean, what he did at UMass and Memphis and
yeah.
But it's also, at some point, you could just say, even if you're a below average coach, you're going to run into wins and success with all the talent you have. We've run it down plenty of times. Look at the NBA players that he had. And he's still, Davis, Booker.
Oh, I did.
I mean, it's SGA.
You could do 2 hours on it.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Put it this way.
But he had eight NBA guys, according to all the experts, and he couldn't beat Oakland.
Right. John Calipari is not leaving Kentucky for Arkansas if he was more of a winner. Like if they made deep runs almost every year at Kentucky, and maybe he had 2 or 3 titles, which he easily could, right? And they were in the Final Four every other year, or a number 1 seed, and like without the flops, he's never going to leave Kentucky. The fan base would not be unhappy with him. He wouldn't feel the day-to-day pressure that he has. He would not think to himself, I'm not living up to expectations. He wouldn't be looking for a way out. So that just tells you that he knows he did not win enough, because he clearly was, again, anybody could figure that part of it out.
Well, it's hard to do. We've run down everyone's resume, but I would like to see more than a couple of championships when you've been in this racket for 30 years and you get all the top talent. You are looking forward. You are more excited for Jinx 2 than Heat 2, real or Fugazi. Jinx 2 in 2 weeks.
Probably real, because Heat's now been 30 years.
I know.
So, I mean,
hard to pull off. It's a prequel and a sequel, though.
So had that movie been made 10 years after the original, I'd probably say Heat 2. But The Jinx, again, for people who don't know, it was on HBO, 2016-ish? One of the best television shows ever made. It was like 6-7 episodes. That was it. And now they're going to come out with part 2. And I didn't see the preview last night because I haven't watched Curb yet.
It was right after Curb.
Okay.
Yep.
But this is like the hype to this is incredible.
Trailer. It was a hell of a trailer.
Was it?
Yes. It was well done. But I said it, I think I said it Friday on the show or Thursday. Underrated movie. I watched it yesterday. Heat's a top 15 movie all time. It's the only time, you got Pacino and De Niro in the same scene. And
the acting. The cast is incredible, and the acting does not disappoint.
So Michael Mann goes to Val Kilmer. He goes, I have any chance here? Can I get you in the picture? He goes, I don't know. I got this deal for $7 million. He goes, yeah, I got Pacino and De Niro, though. He goes, what? Okay, I'll do it for $400,000. He goes, are you serious? And Michael Mann says, how do I repay you? And Val Kilmer says, put me on the movie poster in between them. And he did.
Oh, is that right?
How good is that story?
That's the story.
Guy walked away from a $7 million payday to make $400,000 because he wanted to work with Pacino and De Niro.
Wow.
And be part of Heat. And you were right about that cast. That cast is... Ted Levine's in it.
Oh, yeah.
Buffalo Bill. Good role in it. Even the guys with the big roles. Waingro. Yeah. The guy who drives the getaway car at the end.
Sure.
He's Bleep You, Jobu. He's in the...
that's right.
All those ads, State Farm or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So, but the home run, I can't wait for both of them. It's going to be great.
No offense to Zach Edey, but Glenn Robinson is still the best Purdue basketball player in history. Is that real or fugazi? I'd like to have a conversation with Purdue fans about that. I'd probably get mocked because Edey's going to win the Wooden Award for back-to-back years. But, man, I'll tell you, Glenn Robinson, when I was growing up,
it's a shame what happened in the NBA.
I know.
But that was a guy who got the $100 million payday, and that was it. Speaking of Lon Kruger.
He still had his moments, though, where he was brilliant in the NBA.
But Lon Kruger coached him, I think, for a year, and he was just like, need you, dog. Need you to go out there. And then sometimes it's just like, nah, not tonight. Not happening. He had to talk him into playing a lot, but once you get that kind of money, it changes you.
That was back when rookies would make $100 million coming right out of college.
Right.
So it's like, okay, where's my motivation now?
Yeah.
Oh, but he was something else.
Well, sure, you didn't have the benefit of, Edey's a great player, but he has the benefit. Well, look at how they're talking about him, though. There was one scout who says the guy's going to be Boban. He's going to be a bad pro.
That's unfair.
There are other people saying he's going to go like 25th in the draft.
Okay, so, I don't know. Maybe he's a bad pro. But to compare him to Boban, you need to watch more film then. Because Boban's a total stiff who can give you some flashes. Edey is not a complete stiff. That's unfair to that guy.
Yeah. He does get the benefit of the whistle, though.
Oh, yeah, that he does. And I'm wondering, is that going to be the same thing tonight?
Yeah, right.
That whole matchup down low with Klingon. By the way, I'm looking at Klingon plus 190 to win most outstanding player.
Yeah, good point by Luke. Like, Dawn Staley was the last gal to do it, to win most outstanding on a losing team. It's just... That's
more than 3 decades ago.
Yeah. All right. If Edey can school him and go have a big performance and they lose a close game, you're going against a 7-2 NBA player.
Yeah. We'll run down in-pocket plays, our bets from the weekend, and tell you what we're betting next coming up on Follow the Money.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3-to-1 odds. Nope. 5-to-1. Nope. 10-to-1. You're up.
All right. Go back to Friday. A couple winners. Iowa money line. The ladies got it done. Didn't cover, but cashed on the money line against UConn. Suns money line against the T-Wolves. That's why yesterday's loss was so weird.
Oh, boy.
I think you have something there with the Clipper finish. They were playing great ball, and they just obliterated the Pelicans last meeting. Now they come to your place, and you're up 10 early, and you lose.
On a big early, and then it just totally flipped.
Yeah. 1 seed to win the tournament. No even money. Obviously a loser. 1 against a 1. South Carolina women to win the tournament versus the field. They were $1.50 after heading into the Sweet 16. Came back, took 7 with Iowa, but no good. Couldn't get that either. NC State +9 and Alabama +12, no good. Took the dogs and couldn't get one of them in there. And the early game Saturday was ugly as Purdue with a blowout win. And UConn pulled away late. To the new plays, not much going on other than baseball in the title game. The NBA is off. They get out of the way. And there's only 2 hockey games. But everything's up because everyone plays tomorrow. This is the final week of the regular season in the NBA. They're also off Saturday. So most teams only have 4 games left and some big ones here because the seeding and everything's nuts. In any event, go $1.35 Heat money line at Atlanta. Huge game. And the Suns, $1.40 against the Clippers. They're at home tomorrow against the Clippers, and the Clippers have the division. I think it should be over. I mean, they're up 4-4. I would think they'd have the tiebreaker, but you need a miracle for the Suns to get there. But they need this to avoid the play-in. And that was a damaging loss against the Pelicans. So now the Suns are going to have to, with a tough schedule, mind you. 4 left. They play the Clippers, they play the Sacramento Kings, and they play the Timberwolves.
Yeah, T-Wolves again with the win last night over the Lakers.
Well, that was ridiculous.
They can win that division. They can get the 1 seed yet.
That's right.
So
everything that's on the line, and it was horrible luck. LeBron James, who was awesome Saturday, got sick, missed the game, and then Anthony Davis had to leave with an eye injury. Horrible luck for the Lakers. So those are the new plays.
All right, from the weekend, race to 10, Bama +175. Had a chance, did not win. Had a chance to win all of those races, like the race to 15, +190, did not get there. The race to 25 did come in. That was +230. So went 1 and 2, but the +230, so a very small winner overall. On Friday, the K-Props got there. Jared Jones for Pittsburgh was over 5.5, +112. That was a winner. And Jordan Hicks over 4.5, +106. That came in as well. And I'm doing it tonight. I'm betting Donovan Clingan, most outstanding player, at +190. Thinking they're going to go back-to-back. He's been awesome in the tournament. He's had double digits in 4 out of the 5 games. What he did against Illinois is still getting talked about. And if he can hold his own, like the narrative has been built up around this guy. And that's what I'm looking for at a plus price. Now, somebody could come in. I mean, they had 5 guys in double figures, right? The entire starting 5 on Saturday. So somebody could steal it from him if they win the game, sure. But I think he's got that backing at this point, and at +190, that's how I want to approach the game.
Yeah.
Nothing pregame here. And by the way, did I see that it moved up to 7.5 now on the game? Let me get to the odds screen here in a second. I think this game might be one to look at in terms of in play. Yeah, I see 7.5 out there now on the game. Boy, oh boy. Is this going to be like the Bama game, but the other way on Saturday where it crashed to 10? Does this go up to 8? People going to be hopping in on UConn here regardless of the number?
They've been getting paid for 2 years. Why not?
Yeah.
DraftKings Sportsbook, one of America's top-rated books, and they love the app, giving new customers a shot to turn $5 into $150 instantly in bonus bets with any college basketball bet. Download the app, use promo code VSiN when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. This is great for the sport as well, I think, with Calipari leaving but staying in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
And now what does Kentucky do? I ruled out Nate Oates because the buyout's $18 million, but he's a name too. But
also, does he want to leave Alabama for Kentucky?
See, I would not do that. Kentucky's all about a basketball school, and Alabama's a football school. I can sit here and be over here and do my thing and make an occasional Elite Eight, and they're good with it. Kentucky, it's like, you bet, they're ready to get rid of this. They can't stand them for what's happened.
I mean, again, of all the spots Calipari could have taken over recent years, Arkansas is a landing spot. That's wild, man. But he's going to have all this backing, all the money, like we've documented on the show so far today. The Walton family, Jerry Jones, Tyson Foods.
In with the kids. How about that story? Tight with the sons. Okay. Well, right. It's cool to be friends with a billionaire or multimillionaire. Why not? This kind of stuff can happen.
Rick is a big Purdue fan. He's chiming in on X. He's saying you cannot be serious about getting this far for Painter the monkey off of his back. And he said, to me, Edey and Big Dog Robinson are both the best. I can't choose one. Tough call. Edey's going to go back-to-back National Player of the Year. Robinson was just a force, though, and how he played as a small/power forward, and how he could shoot, and how he could just dominate on the low block as well. He had a great game overall.
I'm dead serious. You think Syracuse fans are happy about one title in 45 years with Boeheim? How much NBA talent did he have? He's running that stupid tricked-up zone every year, and the defense was great. The offense usually stunk. I mean, I would say that's a big miss, and you're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah. Kentucky fans today, I'm guessing several are happy. I've read comments.
Oh, sure.
I've read comments, though. It's a shame that the media kind of forced him out because they were just killing the guy year after year after year. But also,
well, he did it to himself.
Of course he did.
I mean, he would talk a big game, and would you come? Here's the thing that got him was the mercenaries and the one and done, and just a brand new team every year. Mm-hmm. Because that's when you need to find out how good of a coach you are. Because every year you have a brand new team. So it also goes into ego, talent. I'm worried about my shots and what do I look like for the NBA and my pro prospects. And then what do you do when you can have all this talent? And you just saw with, according to the experts, 8 NBA players, and he couldn't beat Oakland and slow down Golke.
Sure.
You know, his response, and I was paying attention to it because is he coming back? Are they going to force him out? He did his end of the year radio show. And he comes out, he's talking about, well, there were plenty of games where Golke was only 1 of 8 from 3. Not the point. Mm-hmm. Not the point. He's got it going early.
And that's all he does.
Right. Why did you wait? It's like Mulkey with the Clark game.
Yeah.
Why'd you wait to switch and put Flaujo on her till late? And why did you wait till 4 minutes left to switch everything?
Right. Why was it not your game plan to begin with?
Why do you wait till Golke gets hot and he's 5 of 7 from 3 till you realize, hey, we got a problem here?
Oh, yeah.
Because once he gets going, then it's like...
he's asking his assistants, who's this guy? Where was he in the scout? Why do we not game plan differently?
It also goes back to what you had a problem with, too, with rotation and lack of minutes. And why was this guy on the bench for so long? Mm-hmm. This guy was supposed to go top 3 in the draft, and he doesn't play the first 8 minutes of the game.
What also bothered me is, and I think some of the fan base was like this, too, down there. They were happy by winning the recruiting battle every single year. That's great and all. Have fun with that title. Because at the end of the day, again, he won 1 title there, and he did less with more than any other coach, I think, in my lifetime. And also, he talked about how NBA draft night was the most important night to him. And he would openly admit in talking about the future of their kids that he would bring in the NBA after 1 year. That was more important than winning national titles. That's a slap to the face of that fan base. It's great and all to see these players go on to the NBA level and make, collectively billions of dollars overall. But when they're at Kentucky staying for 1 year and you have to learn a new team every single season and they're not getting it done when it matters most, that hurts. Mm-hmm. And when the coach talks about that's more important, no, it's not. To you, okay, great. You're making zillions of dollars on top of it anyway. But to us, the people who... put it this way, that's our pro team that we have, and everybody in the state, that's the one thing that we all have in common is that we love this basketball program, and you think that their future in the NBA is more important. So you had 15 years of that. And forget about just the 1 title. And again, he made Final Fours out of the gates. How about the recent lack of success that he had there? That's embarrassing to have that much talent and never make deep runs.
Yeah.
So we'll continue down this path coming up next. John Clay has written about Kentucky basketball for many, many years for the Lexington Herald-Leader. He's going to join the program. We'll find out how shocking this was to him and what's next for Kentucky. What's the pecking order here? Do they talk to Dan Hurley? Is it going to be someone like Jay Wright, Billy Donovan? That's coming up here on VSiN.